Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I cannot believe I'm shooting the May garden tour. I feel like I just uploaded the April garden tour. Things are moving really quickly, really fast, and looking really good if I'm being quite honest. Well, first of all, how do you like my dress? I made it, and it has pockets. I know this is a gardening channel, but I've been picking up sewing, so maybe it'll change to like a making channel along with gardening and like a bunch of other stuff. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. The roosters are on one today, but I am trying to film this video before the sun comes over and burns me to a crisp. It is so hot. I can't wait to show you guys. Let's get started. So I wanted to start at a different vantage point today to give you guys a different view of the garden. This is the Zenia plot that we planted out like in one of my earlier videos this season, and it looks really good. The bee balm is going and it looks great, but we do have a lot of powdery mildew in here, so I'm probably gonna have to replace these flowers soon. I've been keeping it kind of at bay with neem, but as you can see, it's still going, and I just don't want to keep spraying, so I'm probably just gonna start another tray for the summer and go ahead and replace these. But look at how beautiful this is. The cosmos are doing well. This is a new flower. It's a native, I believe. It's called American blanket flower, and the Turk's cap is huge, much bigger than it was last year. And look at these puffy marigolds. These are so cute. I love just how puffbally they look. And I've been getting a lot of marigolds over here. But let me show you this blanket flower that's actually blooming. I saw these at a local park, so I'm pretty sure it's a native. It was in their native garden, and I was like, I have to have them. So it's just like so frilly and gorgeous. I don't know how it works as a cut flower. I have to look into that. But yeah, look how stunning. Oh, we have a Dijon rose. This is honey Dijon. Let me smell. It smells so good. I just love my roses this year, y'all. I've had such a good rose year so far. Compost really did work wonders. This is my twilight zone. This one's too low to the ground for me to try to smell, but I haven't had any smell as of yet. So this is what we're looking like here. And we have these gorgeous orange marigolds. And then my honeywort, I don't know who this is. I'm not sure about this plant, but I do know that this is honeywort, and it is about to bloom. I had so many plants, but not a lot of them survived. So this is like the one that I'm trying to make sure succeeds. And just going back across the way. Again, just a different vantage point of my health strip garden. If you don't have a lot of space, you can always plant the space between the sidewalk and the street. But make sure you check with your local ordinances to see if you need a permit. But these, I think, are the ballerina zinnias from Johnny's. And they started out a little murky, but I think they're actually quite beautiful. I'm trying to get it in the sun without a shadow. But I think they're really big. They start out really small, and they look really nice, actually. So this is my zinnia patch that I planted, and it really filled out quite nicely. Now moving back over here, this is my lovely tripod. And then this bed is filled with peppers and potatoes, Irish potatoes. Over here you can see these are the peppers that I put my compost on last week, and they are doing so much better now. So this is my homemade compost. I haven't been watering them probably as much as I could have, but you see we have some peppers. I think this is the padron pepper, and I'm probably gonna have to put a shade cloth over this at some point, but right now we're doing okay. This is the padron pepper. I think this is the Hungarian Magyar pepper. We have two on here, and then everything is just getting a lot fuller. I don't know who you are, but I don't like it. My potatoes are doing really well too. I did hill them up. You can see a little elevation there. And I think these are the healthiest potatoes I've ever grown. This is a marigold that I got from my neighbor. I've grown potatoes before, but I've never buried them. I mean, I've never hilled them up. I've always just buried them deep and then harvested them later. So this is my first time with the hilling method. These are russet potatoes, but they look great. They're the healthiest looking potatoes I've ever grown. So there may be something to the hilling process, or just maybe I put compost on them and they're just growing healthier, but I cannot wait for that harvest. Okay, back to the tour. So everything is just filling out. The bananas are super tall and it just is so green and lush. And this tomato is just popping up. This is the Champagne Bubbles tomato. There are a few on here. Hopefully we get some before it gets too hot, because right around, like pretty soon, the pollen's gonna stop being viable because it's gonna get too hot and we won't have any more tomatoes. And at that point, I'm gonna take all of this out and probably plant more sweet potatoes in here. This is my squash. I'm really hoping I get at least one squash. We have squash vine borer here, so I'm surprised that it's gotten this big. I planted it kind of late down south. Well, at least in my area, you want to plant it a little bit earlier in the spring so that you can get a harvest. But we'll see. I'm hoping there's like a little, I think that's a female squash or a male. I don't know. I think that's a female because it has the actual fruit on there. So hopefully we can get the flowers at the same time so that we can actually get some fruit. Back here, these are golden berries that are like having really bad either flea beetles or spider mites, but I need to spray them again with some neem. I have that problem really bad in my garden and I just try to spray it. Normally that works. Over here we have the sweet potatoes that I planted. Full disclosure, the ones that I planted initially kind of look really sad, but I had some other rooted starts from my friend that are doing really well. Still, I just planted these. Probably could water them in again, but they look really healthy and really good. And I think we're gonna have a really good sweet potato year this year. Moving along, another zinnia patch on the health strip, again with the powdery mildew. It is just really not great. So, but otherwise, I'm quite pleased with how it looks. It is, you don't belong here. We've gotten a good show. If nothing else, we've gotten a good show. I haven't had this issue before with the powdery mildew, so that's really new to me with the zinnia specifically, but I don't think it's an uncommon issue. Over here, I finally harvested the garlic and I planted some Japanese sweet potatoes that I had. I probably should water this before it gets too hot again, but I think they'll survive the day. So these are slips that I rooted off of a, I think it was a Murasaki, I don't know. It was some kind of white-fleshed, purple-skinned Japanese sweet potato that I got from Whole Foods that I propagated the slips from, and I planted a bunch of those in this bed after I harvested the garlic. And I'll insert a footage of the final garlic harvest. Over here, we have the tomatoes that I trellised in the last video. They look a lot better standing up. I need to stake this marigold because it's hanging over the lavender that I planted. As I suspected, it just died. These beans look phenomenal. We've been getting a lot of beans. It's crazy. So it's just me and my boyfriend. So 3 plants is plenty for us. We're not even like super huge green bean lovers, but they do taste they taste a lot better fresh. I will say that. I do not like a canned green bean, but fresh, they are pretty good. Sauteed with just like some garlic and herbs and things like that. I've had a good time eating them and they're nice size. I actually need to probably pick these, so I'm gonna do that really quick. I think I'm actually just gonna make dilly beans with these instead of cooking them. Okay, back to the tour. So this space is starting to look a little bit bare now that the hollyhock is gone, but the plumbago is filling in beautifully. I just love this color. I just bought some nail polish this color, so I'm excited about that. I'm not gonna plant anything here, probably. Maybe a sunflower. Oh, it looks like I did plant something there that needs to be watered. One sec. I finally got a trellis from the farm for this other tomato, so I need to put that up. This pineapple sage is gorgeous, stunning. I need to pick it, and I think I mentioned this in the last video, but I need to see what the tea tastes like. Maybe I'll make some pineapple sage sun tea today. I've very much been on a sun tea kick. And then we have these gorgeous sunflowers. Got a little bee action. But let's talk about the tomatoes. So the tomatoes appear to be, they're actually not bad, but like, oh, there's so many stink bugs on here. These are the stink bugs. And I've just been trying to grab them or knocking them in some dish soap. Anyway, I'm gonna focus on the tour. I've just got back from visiting my grandparents over the weekend, so I'm like, they've been probably having a field day while I've been gone. But anyway, back to the tomatoes. Clearly some that need to be harvested. Get out of here, you little bitches. Sorry. I will kill y'all later. But these are just so cute. I don't know that I'd grow them again. I thought they were gonna be bigger, but they are super cute. I made a roasted cherry tomato sauce last week and it was really freaking good. So I have been enjoying them. Nothing's been going to waste. And I'm just gonna probably take these, because of the stink bugs, I've just been picking these and ripening them inside. And once they get a little color on them, you can pretty much take them off and just leave them to dry on the counter. Let me get my bowl. Put these in. Ooh, it looks like we might have a Lisa pepper ready. But yeah, I'm gonna take this little freak to look at it. I think that was a fasciated tomato, but she's still beautiful. She's still good. Little cuties. So yeah, I'm just gonna take them, because what the stink bugs do is they create these like discolorations on your fruit from where they've like punctured it and sucked some of the juice out. So I'm also gonna get these black cherries. I'm pretty sure these are pretty ripe. Yeah, I'm just gonna grab all of these and put them in the bowl. Ooh, thank you, breeze. We're getting a breeze. Okay, I'll do that later. These tomatoes are gonna be coming out in the next month or so, and I'm gonna replace them with purple whole peas. So I'm gonna get, once I take them out, I'm gonna get one of those remesh panels, and then it would be great if I could get a cattle panel, if I could find a way to get one here. If I could borrow a truck. Actually, I'm not supporting Tractor Supply. Anyway, so I'll get some remesh panels, and then I haven't decided if I want to do like a tall trellis or if I want to do just like one single one across, because I don't want it to be too tall to where I can't harvest up high and I have to get like a ladder or something. I want it to be easy for when I come out here and I don't have to do a whole lot of something, especially because it's going to be so hot. As you can see, I'm sweating bullets and the sun isn't even over here yet. And moving along, the sunflowers are petering out. I love sunflowers, but they just come and go. They're so fleeting, but the bees love them. I'm gonna start a new tray of summer flowers with these, and I finally understood what people meant about the pollen. I cut those and I brought them in and there was pollen everywhere. And now I know the reason why you want to grow pollenless flowers for cut flowers to bring inside, because I don't know if the pollen stains because we don't have a tablecloth or anything, but it was definitely like just a nuisance to clean up. Over here, this tomato is going to come out very soon, and so I'll probably start the trellising over here, because get out of here, because this has no more leaves on it. Like all the leaves have died, so this fruit is just ripening by the skin of its chinny chin chin. So this plant is about to be gone. And I will do fall tomatoes probably, but it's just about to get too hot, so there's no reason to like try to throw any more in here. So I'm just gonna put these in the bowl. Down here we have an eggplant. Flea beetles are in full effect, so I need to spray it with neem. These are 2 Trinidadian seasoning peppers. I think it's called, I got a stick. Trinidad pimento pepper. Over here, down below. And then over here we have a Lesa pepper, which I think it looks like they've actually been feeding on these too. And this is rotted, so all of these have been rotting and I don't know why. So this is gonna be compost. So I'll just leave that there. This one, I don't see any new fruit on it. So yeah, not super happy with that, but such is gardening. These these marigolds have the same spider mite issue, as well as this red sage, which is native and popping up all over my garden. As you can see, it goes to seed very quickly, and then we have lots of volunteers. The fig tree is figging out. We have lots of little figs on here that I hope get bigger. I'm gonna put some more compost on this and just support it along. It's doing really good though. It's loaded with figs. We have so many figs on here. Like, just look at all those figs in there. So hopefully we have a really good fig year, and there's still some little ones growing in here. And I think this is an improved Celeste fig. I'm 90% sure. So lots of little figgies on there. Then over here is also looking really good. This Coco Loco is past its prime, so it can probably just be snapped off. It's a very tiny rose, so I think I'm gonna have to end up moving it, especially with these artichokes getting so big. The zinnia, look at that color. You can't really see it on camera, I don't think, but it's very vibrant. And then I've really been loving these white ones too. The anise hyssop looks like it's about to go. The bees have been loving it. They finally came, so my beef with them is over, and it just looks so pretty, and I hope that it seeds everywhere, and so maybe I won't even need to make starts for this hill strip next year. This is an artichoke that is just doing really well. It's 2 artichokes actually, and I don't know if it produced like another little offshoot or if I planted them like that, but I don't think that I did, because I don't see myself planting them so close when I had all this space. So I don't know how that's gonna go, but I'm just leaving them be. I put a rose here. I had a Cadota fig in this spot that died, and so I just replaced it with one of the roses that I'm like rehabbing from the farm. And I hope it's not the one climbing rose that I have, but we'll see. To be determined. Over here, the tomatoes look a lot better. Ooh, we have some swallowtails. Look at this little baby. I think the ones on the roof got eaten. Probably we have a lot of birds around here, so I hope these survive. But look at it. I've been seeing the swallowtails around, so look at that. Look at this one. I'm so excited. I love them. Anywho, we have more potatoes in this bed that are flowering and just looking really freaking awesome. And then the sun golds are popping off. I'm gonna just pick a few of these. Like I said, I just got back from visiting family, so these are kind of ready to be harvested. I just harvested before I left, and I was gone for 2 days. I put these in my dress pockets. See, so good. I need to sew a garden apron. That's one of my next projects. We have this big daddy down here. As soon as this gets some color, I picked a bunch to make fried green tomatoes, and then I brought my grandma some. So not a lot of slicers on here still, which I didn't have a lot to begin with, which is why I just ended up bringing them to her and taking some for myself, because we love fried green tomatoes. As you know, a typical Southern family. Anyway, I'm gonna pick these on my own time and get back to the tour. The sauce that I made was predominantly these tomatoes, and so it was a little sweet, but it was not in a bad way. It was really good. And the color was also a little off-putting, but I was like telling my boyfriend, I was like, disregard the color. It's just the color of the tomatoes, but it is a tomato sauce. It was like, felt very Nickelodeon. But it was good. We put some, I put some, what is it? Hot, spicy Italian sausage in there. So good. So these are the gifts that keeps on giving. I had about 3 pounds that I roasted last week, and it looks like I will have some to put in the freezer. Not enough to can, but enough to have some in the freezer. And I still have a bunch of these tomatoes in the house that I was leaving to ripen, and I just got back and they are ripe already, so I can make a roasted tomato sauce. Allison Roman has like, I think it's like a 3-hour roasted tomato sauce in her cookbook, Dining In. I'll link it down below. It is so good. I highly recommend it. Ooh, and it looks like we have a Cherokee Purple that I'm gonna go ahead and harvest as well and bring it inside to ripen. So look, finally got my first heirloom tomato. Well, I don't think it's my first one. My first one here. Look how beautiful it is. This might have to be the whatchamacallit. But see how they ruin the tomatoes? Actually, it just adds a little color. So, it's our little harvest for this video. Unexpected harvest. I'm gonna leave that there. Okay, back to the tour. Okay, I don't know what's going on with my camera, but hopefully that looks at least a little bit normal. Anyway, over here, the same things, nothing too much over here. I don't think I showed you guys my eucalyptus last time. So there's eucalyptus here that I planted that's getting really tall. I just planted some tuberoses down here. I had some calendula, but I think they are getting unhappy. And so I planted 3 tuberose plants down there. Everything else up here looks pretty much the same because it's a perennial space. But we do have these Diablo, not marigolds, cosmos that came back with the vengeance, and they are humongous. Look at that. I love them. They're so beautiful, so vibrantly orange. As you can see, I love orange. But yeah, look at how beautiful they are. And then another new development is that little buttons on it. So these will get bigger and turn into spiky flowers. I was hoping they would be here in time for the video, but not so. But still very beautiful. I'll be sure to like show you guys next month in next month's video. Hopefully they're done by then, but not rushing you. You take your time. There's no rush. We will have beauty berries very soon. This is supposed to be good for mosquitoes, so I'm gonna try to see a little bit more about what that process is like and like how you extract from the plant to make the mosquito spray. I will report back, but we have a lot of little berries forming on here. These orange zinnias are just, again, I love orange, so they are just rocking my world. They're so pretty. And then over here, since the papaya didn't come back, I planted a gardenia. This gardenia has been through a lot, and that's why I think it will be perfect here. And then, of course, we always love to have another fragrant flower in this space. And then these zinnias are the Queenie Lime ones. So cute. I absolutely adore these. And they have such sturdy stalks, more so than some of the other varieties that I have, which is interesting. But they are just stunning. I love them. Like, look at that. So pretty. All right. The sun is over here. I'm going in the back where there's more sun so we can wrap up the tour. The bed on the side of the house is starting to look really filled out. These echinaceas, which I'm pretty sure they're echinaceas because of this and not Rebecca's, looking very, very good. So that is the sidewalk slash hill strip garden. And now let me grab the tomatoes. Oh, I didn't even talk about the peppers in here. I do have some ají dulce peppers in here. These are a seasoning pepper that I'm excited to work with. So a few on there, none on here. I think because these tomatoes in my last video, you know how I like put them up, they were shading these out. And so I think now that it's getting more sun, they're able to do a lot better. So I'm gonna grab these. And I did end up planting some mammoth basil down here, which is starting to get some color. So I think it's a lot happier here than in its little pot that it was in. So I'm gonna grab, how much stuff can I grab? All right, the AC unit is off, so we can go ahead to the back garden, and you will immediately see that something is different now, and that is that the green stalks are gone, and I am so happy with this. Again, it was not an issue with the product, it was an issue with my space. I just didn't have the space for them, and I know they're supposed to be for small space gardening, and if that was the only thing I had back here, it would have been great. But because I was trying to cramp so much into this space, having to turn them around, they were always like, just the plants were hitting stuff, and it was just, I just didn't like it. It didn't feel as organized as I would like. There was just, it was too much. And so I gave them away to my friend, and I think she gave one to her mom. And yeah, they're in a better place because I just don't like them. When I get a bigger space, I could definitely see myself maybe having them again. But as far as like my backyard patio, they just weren't a good fit. All right, so coming back here, what are the new developments? This little guy needs some soil acidifier because it is turning brown. This is my blueberry. The roses have been doing so well since I got my watering schedule back. Something has eaten this rose up. Take that off. But yeah, so things were not looking great back here, and I realized it was because I'm at the point where I have to water these every day. There's no more watering every couple days, and I'm about to get to the point where I water multiple times a day. These bags dry out really quickly, and I think it's because not only it's just the fabric and the nature of a grow bag, but also because it's on this hot concrete. So I have to water them a lot more. I have found that the Epic Gardening fabric lined bags don't dry out as much, so I don't have to water those as much. So I will definitely be replacing the ones that I got from Amazon years ago with the Epic Gardening grow bags. We have a little melon on here. So this is an ambrosia melon, and I have a little melon back here. She's in her little, let me see if I can get it. She's in her little hammock right now. I have her like just in some scrap fabric, which is actually from this dress, and she's hanging out there. I wish I could get a better view, maybe. Okay, that looks better, but you can see nice sized fruit. She's developing nicely. This achocha, RIP, this is my fault. I thought that it had squash vine borers because it was drying out so much and it had those like limp leaves. And so I went in here and like tried to dig the borer out, but there wasn't one, and I just ruined the stem, and so it dried up. And so that is done. I might try to start another one, but we'll see. This over here, the gherkins are producing more. Everything's just doing a lot better since I watered them, since I started my new watering schedule. And we have a bunch of little gherkins on here. I can probably go ahead and add this to the harvest bucket. There. Ah, come on. All right. Then over here, the Crayola peppers are doing well. I've been harvesting these already. I think they're supposed to get red, but I've been grabbing them for when I make red beans and rice and stuff like that. I haven't tasted it by itself. I probably should. Let me try this one. Oh. Let's see. Tastes like a bell pepper, but not as sweet. Not a lot to say about it, honestly. I'll report back when I get a red one. Okay, the AC unit's back on, so I hope you can hear me still. This peach tree no longer has a peach on it. We harvested our first little peach from this tree, and it was so good. We also harvested one from this tree, which I discovered was a white peach. We have a couple on here still, but they're not ready. But this one was my favorite. This is a, let's see. This is a tropic snow peach. Was so good. The blueberries, this blueberry is looking really good. If you remember in a garden tour a few months back, it wasn't looking very healthy, but it's looking pretty good now. And we got a few berries still left on it. I've already harvested the majority of them, but I have a few little babies. This one was not ready yet, but that's okay. Over here, we have another melon. Like, pretty heavy too. That's another reason why my watering has to be on point, and I probably should fertilize them, but nice sized melon growing in what is maybe a 7-gallon grow bag. And then these are the lined ones. I need to put some compost on these, but yeah, when I water them, you can see the water coming out of the other ones, but these they just hold on to the moisture. Over here we have some more Lesa peppers. I harvested one and it was really sweet, so I'm excited about these ones. We have the roses, everything else over here. Some more, oh, get out of there. Alright, so like I was saying, I had to go turn the AC off so I could finish this video. Even the Gerber daisies came back when I started the new watering schedule, and we started to get a nice big Suyolong cucumber. This is my first Suyolong ever, so I don't know how it tastes, but I've heard great things. There's plenty of fruit on here. This one's probably not gonna make it because I missed watering for a couple days, so I can probably I'll just leave it. And then, yeah, lots of fruit on here. Excited for what's to come. More Lesa peppers that are, ooh, is there a blueberry in here? Yes, nice blueberry. We've gotten a lot of fruit from this garden in the past couple weeks. So she needs to be staked up. She has a lot of fruit on her. Lots of peppers turning red. The tomatillos look great. I don't know if we're gonna get any, but I finally gotten the spider mites under control, and they are ripening. Ooh, another blueberry. Here are the jalapenos. Lots of jalapenos on here, and this is just like a 3-gallon pot, so it's doing incredibly well. So many jalapenos on here. Over here, since I'm down here, lots of green and bell peppers. I'm gonna pick this one because I can see some blossom end rot forming in between it, and I'm making red beans and rice today, so I'll just work around this little spot here. But they're not super big, but they are abundant, so we have a lot of them on here. This one's a little bit bigger. You can see that bell pepper. I think these are supposed to get rid, but they're not. I probably need to put some bone meal on them, so I'm gonna do that later. And then, yeah, some more. So we got a pepper, and then I'll put that in my pocket. And more sun golds. There is a hornworm here because I can see. So telltale hornworm damage. The first thing I noticed was this. Sometimes they will eat the tomatoes, and then you see the leaves haven't been stripped. So you see these, and I see it back there, but I'm wondering if there are 2 on here. But yeah, you can see it. It almost looks like a tobacco hornworm with the red tip. I don't know if you can see it, but it's right here. Yeah, you need to come get that guy. I've seen a few already, but none back here, so that's the first one that I've seen back here. Anyway, I'm gonna grab these tomatoes, and I think I'm gonna clean this bed out soon. since the tomatoes are going to be done. I do have a Cherokee purple over here that I'm waiting to ripen. Not very big, but beautiful. And then I'm going to probably plant a watermelon back here. I think so. That'll probably happen in the coming week because there's not a bunch of tomatoes on here, and I'd be fine to sacrifice them just to like get the watermelon started. This is my, oh, I can't remember the name of it, but so beautiful. I love this rose, and it smells amazing. I think it's not Francis Mealand. It is Luis Clemens. It makes the most gorgeous orangey pink roses. I'm a rose freak, y'all. Oh, we got another tomato down here that is down for the count. See, yeah, I'm just gonna take these out. You can see that tomato over there. I don't know what happened to it, but over here, this is our plum tree. We got some delicious plums off of here. It looks like there's maybe one more. Let's see if she's ready. Not ready quite yet. So we got some little plums. And then the roses. This rose is doing a lot better. This is dark night, so maybe we'll get a flower. I've never gotten a flower from this one, and I don't think I've got one from that one either. Another little bell pepper. And then the mint bed is doing pretty good. Lots of lemon balm, chives, some cutting celery that's gone to seed. Definitely going to seed, so we'll have some more volunteers there. But I really want this mint to take over, and it's not, and it's really bothering me. I don't know if it's because maybe it's been too dry, but I just want this whole like side to be covered in mint, and it's on cement, so I'm not really worried about it creeping too much because it has nowhere to run to except in this bed. So I want this bed to be just lemon balm and just mint. Over here we have some seedlings. Alright, so in the seedling station, I've mostly cleaned this out, but there are a few lingerers, so I have to plant these. I think it's just some gomphrenias and a watermelon that I'm going to put in the tomato bed, and then just, yeah, I think that's it. Some basil back there. That's it here. And then these are my 3 dahlias that I have to plant out. I'm going to go get some soil and I'm going to plant those in my Epic Gardening lined bags when I get a chance. And then these roses are just gonna stay here for a while. I'm rehabbing these from the farm. They were completely weeded out and just looked really bad, and I was gonna lose them. So I went ahead and just pulled them up, and they're doing much better now. So I've been trying to work really hard to clear that space out. Now that I have, I can start new things. So I'm thinking about my medicinal herb garden, my summer flower garden, and just how I'm gonna, ooh, scare me, and just how I'm gonna work things at the farm. So more to come on that, we will discuss later. So this is the final little harvest from today. Little bell pepper. Sorry, I'm eating some of the tomatoes. Cherry tomatoes, green beans, a true summer harvest. So that's it. That's the garden for May. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this look at the garden. I hope this has inspired you to get creative with the space that you have and to grow as much as possible and to just have fun. Experiment, see what works, what doesn't. Like I had to get rid of my green socks because they just didn't work for my space. Yeah, so that's my spiel. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for spending your valuable time with me. And I hope that you like, share, and subscribe. And thank you. Have a great day. Bye.